the Harvard of, fill in the blanks. And then at some point in the meeting, we'd have to say, you know, Harvard doesn't teach soap making. And, and with the schools, we visited everything. I mean, I visited literally the most expensive school in the world. It charges 110,000 euros a year. The best part of it is the director of the school tried to convince me how inclusive the school was. The whole time there was like a row of Prada mountain boots behind me. And I'm like, yeah, very, very inclusive. But we also worked with schools in Bangladesh that charged $100 a year. But I'd kind of become tired of the whole thing, the whole game. Everybody I visited said, look, I have the truth. My school's the best, my university's the best. And while I love that passion, I couldn't believe in any of it. And so when I retired from consulting, I remembered a school that I helped start. It was actually founded by John and Cynthia Hardy, who were very famous from the world of design and jewelry. And I remember that they had started this beautiful school built out of bamboo. And it was located in the island of the gods, Bali. So I thought, you know what? Let's give that a shot, because that feels different. And I didn't expect that much. You know, it was going to be a school in Bali. It would be fun. I'd get a lot of surfing done. But what else would happen 10 years on from the founding of the school? And actually what I saw was something completely incredible. So what is Green School? Imagine a school that has no walls. It's full of light. Instead of trying to make the classrooms soundproof and quiet, they're full of the sounds of the jungle, the birds and nature, and even the river flowing next door. Traditional schools are so worried that the math class has to be silent. We're saying no, every class should be filled with the sounds and the smells of life. A school that teaches children that having a purpose and caring about the planet is the most important thing you can do in life. More important than your grades. Well, we don't have grades at Green School. More important than anything else. And I'll give you a couple of examples. In high school, instead of teaching physics, the kids actually do a combined physics and math class where they just build a boomerang. And it turns out that all boomerangs are based on some form of quadratic equations. So you learn math, you learn physics, you build a hunting weapon, which is kind of cool, and you also learn about Aboriginal traditions from Australia. I'll give you another example. Instead of calling a class biology, it's actually called plant pornography. So we teach children that there is so much that is remarkable in nature and in the world. My daughter is in Green School in 3rd grade. And there are a lot of kids that join the school each year. So the school needs to have a very thoughtful orientation program. And 3rd graders and young children, when they come into a class, they're afraid. They're afraid of the teacher. They're afraid of, will they make friends? They're afraid of the physical environment. So the way they dealt with it is the teacher asked the kids to write down the things that they're afraid of on a piece of paper. They put the paper in a cardboard box, all recycled, of course. They put it on the river and they set it on fire. They gave their fears a Viking funeral. And when my daughter came home to a 3rd grader, she just said to me, Papa, my fears are gone. I saw them disappear. The school is full of rituals that take from native traditions around the world. Most traditions around the world would have a rite of passage when a boy became a man, when a girl became a woman. In 9th grade in Green School, we do the same thing. The boys are taken off into the jungle, the girls are taken off to a more civilized place. The boys are actually taught these rituals about growing up. They receive a letter from their fathers saying goodbye to the boy and welcoming them back as a man. They even spend the last night of this 3-day retreat alone in the jungle with just tobacco leaves because it scares away snakes, and then an emergency whistle. And the beautiful part is that when they come back to the school, they're on the other side of this bridge, and the parents are here, and the girls come and the boys come at the same time, and they're each taught one half of a song that they sing together for the first time when they come back to this bridge. And it's an amazing moment. Everybody's in tears. Everybody's hearts are open. Everyone is full of joy, and there has been growth. So Green School is a completely exceptional experience, to the extent that I literally cannot get my kids to come home at the end of the day. Friday is a bad day at green school because they don't want the weekend. Imagine having that problem. And how has it gone? What happens when children are taught that purpose matters, that the world matters, and that you matter? Children are not taught that you are inconsequential because you have a bad grade, or you're inconsequential because you're a child and you have to be taught. At green school, we tell children that each of you is a change maker, and each of you will save the world. So I'll give you some examples. There's an NGO, you can Google it right now, called Bye Bye Plastic. It was started by two sisters at green school, Isabel and Melati, and the whole purpose was to get rid of plastic from the island of Bali. But how did they do it? They were inspired by Mahatma Gandhi, so they did a hunger strike. They literally did a hunger strike at Bali airport till the governor of Bali showed up to meet them and then agreed on that day to ban all plastic at Bali airport, and now the legislation is rolling through for Bali to be a plastic-free island. I'll give you another example. Indonesia's largest zero-carbon transportation system is the Green School Biobus. Again, started by a student, we take used cooking oil from restaurants in Bali and we turn it into fuel for our school bus system. That kid is now at Cornell. And Green School reaches out to the local community. So we have a program called Kul Connection, where once formal school hours are done, we bring children, Balinese children in from all the surrounding villages, and we teach them English, we teach them science, we basically backfill for elements of the curriculum where the local schools are not strong. And we do it in total partnership with the Balinese. Those children participate in our school plays, they participate in all the fun things we do through the year, so it's not done as charity. It's done as a partnership with people who are essential to Green School and those people whose traditions are essential to the world. So these children make a huge, huge difference on campus. And how is the school doing? I mean, the school is thriving, which I'll talk about. I mean, the way it looks just reminds you of the fact that you have a license to be different here. Here's a fact about Green School. You could grow the school with the seeds you can hold in one hand, and because of how fast bamboo grows, you can grow this school from seed to bamboo ready to use in 1 year. Imagine that, carrying a school for 500 children in your coat pocket. That's how incredible the promise of the school is. And 10 years on, the school has proven itself, which I'll talk a little bit more about. Just so you know, that building over there is called the Heart of School. It's 7 kilometers of bamboo arranged across 3 floors to create a really inspiring and visionary place for where students can really, really believe. Now, when I say the school is thriving, it's full. The thing went from really needing to prove itself and really struggle, and John and Cynthia Hardy deserve the credit for seeing the school through those hard times at the start. But what's interesting is look at that number at the top, 489. We finished the school year at 504, even though we were full. And the reason for that is there were parents and families from around the world. Green School has families from 50 countries that relocate to Bali for the school, not the other way around. It's the only destination school in the world. It's not a boarding school, it's not a day school. The whole family moves to thrive. And we had families that had been saving for 3 and 4 years to come to Bali and to educate their children. And so we just couldn't turn some of them away. So the school is actually not just full, not just do we have far more applicants than we can take, we not only have the problem that we don't even know how to turn kids down because we don't want to be an academically selective school. So the school is helping families and children thrive, and in turn, the school is thriving, right? No good deed goes unpaid or not returned. But where are we going from here? The criticism that Green School would get, because I would talk about Green School when I was working around the world, is people would say, oh, it's Bali, it's the bamboo bubble. It can't happen anywhere else. So we're taking Green School to the world. The first thing I did is I went to a school in America called Phillips Academy, Andover. It's the oldest school in the United States, and it's very academically prestigious. And I had 4 teachers from Andover fly to Bali and assess the school. And they not only said that the curriculum and the teaching of the school is excellent, Andover is now sending more than 10 teachers to Bali in August to learn from Green School. So in other words, I wanted to make sure that the thing was academically validated and robust, and guess what? It passed with flying colors, to the extent that the oldest and most prestigious school in America wants to learn from Green School. And now we're opening all around the planet. So earlier you saw the beautiful New Zealand campus. This campus is opening in a part of New Zealand called Taranaki. Taranaki not only has world-class free public education, Taranaki has no private schools. So we were like, okay, how are we going to prosper here? This market has no private schools because public is so good. Well, within 1 month, we expected 85 enrollments in our opening year. Within 1 month, with just a website and a Facebook page, no events, no other marketing, we got 400 applications from around the world. It gets even more interesting. We didn't even have a button on the website for teachers to apply, but we got 300 applications from teachers to work there. And we got a world-class head of school, Chris Edwards. I'll quickly talk about how the network is working. Each of these schools will contribute. The Green School New Zealand will be all about the Maori and the New Zealand tradition of dealing with the Maori and accepting them. South Africa and Cape Town will deal with water. Cape Town is going to be the first major city in the world to run out of water. And we're developing themes for each of these green schools that gives them a purpose that is customized to the school. This is an actual photo of the view from our Cape Town site. And that's the plan for the school. The heart of school is designed to look like the national flower of South Africa. All the materials are recycled and reused. And we're gonna, after we build these beautiful destination schools, we are coming to a neighborhood near you. Because once we have proven that green schools can work anywhere, that a school driven by love and optimism and joy is the way forward, why wouldn't you want it for your family and your child? It is the better mousetrap. And you know, this is an EdTech conference, and I don't think it's MudTech versus EdTech. I think that if you build technology in the service of joy, in the service of a greater purpose, it will automatically be adopted, and there will be great outcomes from it. So I'll wrap up by saying, you know, join us at Green School, work with us, and as we say at Green School, thrive with purpose. Thank you.